is up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel. So exciting news. We're going to kind of kick off a whole thing here. So I'm pregnant. I'm 13 weeks pregnant. So just getting to the end of my first trimester. I'm just super excited. If you've been here before or see the earlier videos, you'll know that Jake and I went through a miscarriage the end of 2023, beginning of 2024. We found out we were pregnant literally on Easter this year. And again, are just getting to the end of the first trimester. It's been a wildly different experience this time. We did have like an early miscarriage or miscarriage with my first pregnancy. So just all the initial appointments, I think just things obviously weren't going the way we wanted them to. So it's been just really cool just to have such a different experience this time around. We've had 3 appointments. We went in a little bit earlier because I had miscarried. Got to hear their heartbeat for the first time, had another appointment just to check on them around 9 weeks. And then we had our 12-week appointment last week. We had like a longer ultrasound and just went over a couple things. I got lab work done. So we should find out the gender hopefully today or tomorrow. So hoping at the end of this week that we'll know if it's gonna be a little boy or a little girl. But crazy, like on our ultrasounds at 12 weeks, like when you go before, I feel like it's like a baby, but they just look so weird and like they're actually starting to look like a little human in there, and they're just so cute and I just love it. It's so exciting. But again, the reason I even started a vlog when we miscarried was just to share our experience with that and going through that. But especially as women, and obviously I'm an online fitness coach, so just a health and fitness aspect, I think it can be, I know it can be because it has even been for me, just really overwhelming in pregnancy. You know, my body obviously went through a lot with the miscarriage, but then just learning how to take care of your body in pregnancy, and it's scary and it's overwhelming and you don't want to do anything wrong because you don't want to hurt the baby. I think especially like in your first pregnancy and coming off of a loss, I'm like, I don't want to do anything to like cause that to happen again. And there's a lot of information out there, but there's also a lot of misinformation. And so I just want to share more about my experience with, you know, the nutrition side of things and working out and all the things. I think it's just overwhelming, you know, just to help you guys be a little bit more informed, share some of my experience, answer any questions you guys have, just to be like the biggest resource that I can to you guys. Because again, this is, your health and fitness always matters, but it is so important when you're pregnant. It's like you get pregnant and it doesn't matter anymore. It matters a ton, right? Because now it's your health for not just yourself, but for your baby. So obviously I'm getting to the end of my first trimester. Luckily, I didn't have like a terrible first trimester. I didn't have any like crazy morning sickness. I didn't throw up, knock on wood, that doesn't happen. But I definitely was queasy. Like I noticed a lot of different, I had a lot of aversions. I didn't necessarily have cravings. The most tragic thing ever was that coffee was so gross to me. And if you know me or anything about me, I'm obsessed with coffee. So I've like literally barely just started to drink decaf again. And just protein didn't sound very appealing. Vegetables didn't sound very appealing, things that I typically have a lot of. And so it was just being a little more creative, but also giving myself a little bit of grace. I do track my food and things like that just to make sure I'm fueling my body well. And so having days where I didn't hit my protein goal and realizing, okay, like it's okay. And so obviously managing nausea the best that you can, and just doing the best you can, knowing that it's not going to be perfect, but just eating something is better than eating nothing. Knowing that for most people, it kind of starts to subside more. Really, a lot of my aversions are kind of gone now. And then my other big thing was I was just tired as hell, like so freaking fatigued. So taking time to take naps and let my body rest. Your body's doing a lot of work. I told Jake, my body's literally sitting there all day building a baby. He thinks it's so funny when I do this with my hands, but you are. And so knowing it's okay. And like, I think that's another thing, just not being hard on yourself, knowing that you're doing a lot of work. It's okay to rest. It's okay to be more tired than usual. I dialed back on workouts a little bit from 4 a week to 3 a week. There was a week where I was absolutely exhausted. Like I'm not going to push it in the gym. There was a couple of times I had to leave a workout early. That's okay. But I think another thing to understand is it's okay to work out. It's okay to strength train, and doing those things is actually really good for you and baby. And studies and things have shown that it actually decreases a lot of risks and comorbidities and issues when you go through labor and delivery, and actually helps your body bounce back a lot sooner postpartum. So those are definitely things I'm going to share, just things I've been doing with workouts, things I'm doing for my pelvic floor, things I'm doing to prep for labor, things I'm changing nutrition-wise as I move throughout my pregnancy, kind of full days of eating and things like that. So definitely just let me know any questions you guys have. If there's things you're feeling overwhelmed with in your own journey, I'd love to just talk through those. And not that I have every answer in the world, but we can figure out a lot of it together. Obviously, this is my first pregnancy, so I'm just kind of taking things as I go. I will say in the first trimester, nutrition, I literally felt like there was times where my taste buds were literally reverted to that of a child. Like there was a weekend where the only thing that sounded good to me was mac and cheese and chicken nuggets. So I tried to do like a bonzo mac and cheese. It was a little bit higher protein. I tried to like throw a little bit of veggie in there if I could like stomach it. But there's just going to be days where you're not going to sit there and it's not going to be this perfect day of eating with all your protein and whole foods and all these fruits and veggies, because sometimes your stomach, you're just not going to be able to do it, and that's okay. I did find that, and again, everybody's going to be different, but for me it helped to have smaller things more frequently throughout the day, and that's still kind of how I am. Instead of having like bigger meals, kind of just breaking it up, eating more frequently. Sprite Zeros were a lifesaver. You can have caffeine up to like 150 to 200 milligrams. I've just cut it out completely, and Sprite Zero's obviously been a big slay because it's a diet soda, so I don't like to get all my calories from drinking soda, and there's no caffeine in it. It just helps settle my stomach. And then getting up and just having a few saltines and then waiting a little bit and having breakfast has been very helpful. Clutch, having car crackers. I just always had a package of saltines in our car, and sometimes I just needed a few and I felt immensely better. So 10 out of 10 would recommend car crackers. As far as things I've changed with workouts, you know, I dialed back a little bit to a 3 full day split. Again, like I said, there was times where, you know, I had to leave a workout early because I felt like I was literally gonna either pass out or vomit. It's a lot of learning to listen to your body, just like we do when we're not pregnant. As far as movement wise, there's really not a lot you need to change in your first trimester. Again, listening to your body, but you can do really any movement you've been doing. Your body isn't like changing a lot physically in appearance. You're not having a huge bump, so your balance and like weight distribution is really not any different. You can do some things where you're putting pressure on your stomach. I just opted not to. Also, those things also tend to put pressure on your chest, and it's going to be a lot more tender than usual. So I just went away from chest supported movements and made adaptations there. But as you get into later trimesters, those are going to be things you want to pay attention to, obviously avoiding anything that's going to be putting pressure on your stomach, but also knowing that your balance is going to change, right? Your center of gravity is going to get different as your stomach gets bigger. Also, positioning is going to get a little bit different as your stomach gets bigger. So just learning to adapt things throughout. But again, I think the big thing is understanding that you can continue to be active, you can continue to work out, and that's something you've been doing. You shouldn't be scared to keep doing those things. And I think that's something that I've really learned a lot, is there's so much fear mongering around that, and just old school thought, especially with older people, like, oh my gosh, should you be working out? But there's so much evidence and so many studies that have shown the benefits of that for mom and baby. So again, listening to your body, dialing back, not going for a PR every 5 seconds and overexerting yourself. I think a good measurement is on the exertion scale of 1 to 10 of 1, I'm mad chilling, and 10, I'm like literally dying, trying to stay at a 6 or 7, but you can still go in the gym, have good workouts. You don't have to feel like if you work out, you're going to do something wrong. It's just making some adjustments and adaptations and being smart about it, which is where having a coach can definitely help. Okay.
We're having a boy! We're having a boy! Let's go!
Dang it, I was wrong.
Let's go! Let's go!